Terror threat or fear. Here now is Tom Ruskin. He is a former NYPD detective. So there are two theories now about what happened here. Either one is it was a hoax, somebody that was trying to disrupt things. The other theory that's more frightening is the idea that this was basically a research mission to see how the cities responded, what they took seriously, and if they did, where teams moved, where the staging areas were, and what it looked like in order to do reconnaissance on a future threat. What do you think of those two ideas?
It's all possible, but what we learned from San Bernardino and the terrorist attack down there is that they were casing schools. So there was some intelligence that one of the targets could be a school. I think it's very good to Monday morning quarterback and being on both sides of the position in the past and being in the room that had to make the decision on some of these tough decisions. It's not something that's done within a minute or 5 minutes. It's something that's done very quickly. And you have to make those decisions sometimes 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to be able to properly shut down a school system, even if it's a known thunderstorm or a snowstorm that's coming. So I think it's great that everyone's Monday morning quarterbacking Superintendent Rodriguez at this point in time. But if it was a credible threat at the time, he made a decision, and the decision was to shut down the schools.
I understand that, but in terms of the evidence, I mean, what do you think this really was? When they talk about, we've heard talk about the two different notes that came through, the one, to New York and the one to L.A., and they're saying that, some of the telltale signs were that they used a lowercase a for Allah. In one of them, it is reported, one of the notes, that there was a reference to profanity, which made the people reading it feel like this wasn't from actual jihadists or, radical Muslims, because they wouldn't use that kind of language, that it didn't make a lot of sense, that there weren't references necessarily that were correct to the New York school system, although they were more accurate when talking about L.A. Based on that in your own past, do you think that this was just a hoax?
It appears, from everything we're learning later on today, that it appears to be a hoax. But it doesn't appear that the mechanisms in L.A. were in place as they are in New York. So when New York gets those threats, the chancellor of the schools in New York cannot shut down the schools. The mayor shuts down the schools. L.A. is different. The superintendent there shuts down the schools. So when the mayor or when the police department or whoever received the hoax in New York City gets it, it goes to the mayor and then to the police commissioner, to the intelligence division and the threat analysis unit of the New York City Police Department, who then evaluates it. And obviously, the evaluation in New York was vastly different than L.A.
Yeah. Wait, I hear what you're saying. We don't want to second guess what happened in L.A. because, you never want anything bad to happen to children. At the same time, it's a learning experience.
Right.
And, well, sadly, it may be a learning experience for the terrorists on the other side. That's very distressing. It's also a learning experience on this side. I know I personally would like to be Bill Bratton's next door neighbor. I think that would probably be the safest place on the planet to live, but that's my thought. Anyway, Tom, thank you so much. We appreciate your feedback, David.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Right, let's just be his next door neighbor.
Meanwhile, we're